Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like, to check and make sure your best friend actually likes musical theater before buying them tickets for that Broadway touring show that's coming to town.
Yeah, checking first is smart, so check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. This content is intended for audiences in the U.S. only. Savings vary, terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is a headgum
video.
Handsome, chatting with friends on the Handsome Pod. Chatting with friends on the Handsome Pod.
Cheers.
Welcome to the Handsome Pod. I came in strong. I'm one of your hosts, May Martin. What a true honor to be joined by the two amigos. I almost said your name.
Well, it's true. That is my name.
You just tell people who we are.
Tig Notaro and Fortune Feimster. And of course, Thomas.
Thomas on the knobs.
Welcome to the Handsome Pod.
Is that okay to say?
So
Thomas on the knobs?
Thomas on the knobs.
Sure.
Okay.
How are you guys? Oh man.
Yeah, it's been a
year so far. We have been dealing with a lot already in 2025.
Yes.
And many people have, especially in our Los Angeles area.
I know, and the three of us haven't been together since the fires. We've been keeping in touch, checking in, but
yeah, so
how are you holding up?
We're good. I think that the fires, as of when we're taping right now, not as of when this is airing, are not fully put out yet, but much more contained. But there was a good, how long has it been? A week and a half?
Like it's
weeks?
been 11 days.
11 days of just pure anxiety and tension and fear and devastation for all the people who've lost their homes in Altadena and Pasadena, Malibu, Palisades. I mean, been heartbreaking.
Yeah, the speed that it happened, and having friends who get, you get the evacuation notice and then 3 hours later, your whole house is gone. It's like it's really frightening, and it's been absolutely wild. And it got pretty close to your house, right, Fortune? You could see it raging.
Yeah, there were 2 nights that were listen, we're totally fine and lucky. There were 2 nights that was really dicey. I started getting notifications from this app, Watch Duty, that everyone's been glued to, and saying it was coming towards the 405, and I went to get gas in our car, and when I came home, I saw a lot of red in the sky, so I ran up to our balcony, and just on the mountain right here, there was fire everywhere, and I was like, if that comes over this ridge, we're done. Yeah, we're done. Mm-hmm. This whole area is done. And so Jackson and I started packing, and I just kept watching it. But what happened on the original nights of the main fire is that the winds were like 100 miles an hour. Yeah. It was unprecedented winds that you can't control anything. Luckily on this night, the winds were not like that. So I watched the planes come in one after another and drop water, and you could see it over hours going down. They weren't able to have that aerial help those original nights, and that is what makes the difference. So thank God for our firefighters and all these people that are fighting the fire. I watched it in real time, them save the entire valley from those efforts.
I can't even, I can imagine. I saw your picture. But seeing fire on the ridge like that,
the smoke in the air and the heat, and are you good in a crisis? Did you learn that adrenaline when you're how, it's so rare that you're in that situation?
I was more calm than I thought I would be. It was just a matter of staying on top of it. The hardest thing for a lot of the people that lost their homes, and some people didn't make it out, is like you said, they had minutes to evacuate, because everyone's like, oh, why didn't you do this, or why didn't you do that? people are literally minutes getting in a car, getting out of there. So I was just trying to watch the fire on the app, watch it on the ridge, just being aware, and having like a plan. And so many people were like, the city was so amazing. All these friends were texting and looking out for each other, and what do you need, and are you good? And like, LA gets a bad rap for no one caring, and man, people kept showing up for everybody.
But that first night with the winds, and I was about to do an improv show with Stephanie and Alana, so we were like, let's all meet up before the show. We'll meet at this restaurant, and we got there and there was a power outage, and I just had not been aware of the Santa Ana winds as a thing. I just didn't know about them, and there was this power outage, and the waitress was like, I'm sure it'll come back in a minute, and it was like, but like the vibe was weird. And then then we look outside and there's an electricity pole just like swaying in the wind, like it could fall at any minute on the buildings, and there's a kind of sense of panic, and Stephanie's like, I'm just texting with Tig, and then she's like, a tree fell on our house and and I was like, what? And then it just like we were like, we're all gonna go our separate ways and go home. And
well, we were on the phone on her way to meet up with you and Alana, and it was just a normal conversation, like, let me call you from the car, and we're talking, and then my next call from her is, oh my God, there was a power outage, and there are light posts about to
crush the comedy venue. Yeah.
And then we get a text that tree, I mean, it's so massive. This eucalyptus tree, it is so massive. And that was just the very beginning of it. And the tree's still there.
And all the traffic
it's the least
lights
of anybody's concerns right now as a tree is down.
Yeah. And then so you were in Toronto, and that must have felt so helpless and terrifying.
It was. And I was aware, and I was watching the fires from Toronto, and I understood the distance from our house. But I was watching, and then, the Sunset Fire started, which was roughly 3 miles from our house. And then my kids were having some anxiety, and then Stephanie's there having to wrangle 3 cats. It's not like a dog where you snap your finger and the dog comes, the cat we have 3 scurrying around the house doing whatever they want, whenever they want. And so it was very emotional for me. I called the production and just said, there's no world I can be in another country on the other side of, on the East Coast in another country, while there's a fire a couple of miles away from our house with my kid. It was after their bedtime. They were so disoriented and confused. And and just to go back to production, they were so compassionate. The executive producer said, Tig, I can hear your soul in your voice. Give me 5 minutes and we'll get this confirmed for you to go home. And it was so emotional and touching. And I flew home, and man, the second I walked in the door, the hugs that I got from my family and that trip home, I think was one of my greatest times spent with my family. It was so special. But we drove Max and Finn to show them, where the fire was, to give them perspective. So because they were like, is our house going to burn down? And, even as an adult, you feel that even if you're watching the news, you're like, are we going to burn? And then, then think about a child who has no perspective about where these fires are, what is going to happen. But we gutted our house like crazy. I mean, with bedding and clothing and toys and stuffed animals, food, did our deliveries and distribution. I think that was also good for Max and Finn too, to be a part of trying to help. And
all those cliches are true about making you realize what's important, and feel grateful for the people, and
Oh my gosh.
I ended up in well, I had you call up your ex, you have apocalypse sex, then you go then I got out of town.
Wait,
then
you do?
Yes, you must. You got to
Yes,
think.
Fortune.
Yeah, you got to think it's all going down.
Wait, you do?
Okay, let me write this down.
Apocalypse sex.
Yeah.
That's
But
a
you know,
good
because
movie.
I love that you go step one.
step one,
Apocalypse
apocalypse sex. Well,
And what does that look like? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Is
It's
it
like-
happy? Is it sad? Is it intense?
it's sort of all three. It's like
Okay.
it's like
Okay.
if this is our last day on Earth.
Yeah.
But it
Let's
does
make it count.
I mean, that's just an extension though of like realizing who's important to you and what you want to be
Okay.
doing. So and then I got out of town to Palm Springs with my friend Sabrina and her family, and it was so nice being around kids and her dog, and they were all in like one hotel room, and you know, on night one the baby got a fever and this
Aw.
5-year-old got an ear infection. They just got I'm just like it was nice to be there for them and help them
Yeah.
out and babysitting.
Oh, I
and
thought you
stuff.
were going to say it was so nice to have my own room.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, it was
you're
nice to have
here.
my own room, yeah. Yeah, you know, I always thought I wanted a family, and then, but then it's such a weird, surreal thing because all this craziness is going on, and then, but also daily life continues, and you know, we're not that far from LA. We're in Palm Springs, and then we took at the hotel. There was a drag brunch on the like a few days into this excursion, and so we took these like 6-year-olds to this drag brunch, and it was incredible seeing like the joy of these drag queens who are so funny, and we're like making the kids laugh and seeing the kids, you know, just the kids were like rivet. I've never seen. It was like they'd seen God. Like their eyes were so big, and
Gaudy God.
yeah. So
Well, and Thomas, you were hunkered down with a newborn.
oh my
Yeah,
God.
our friends had a baby the Monday, so the day before the fires,
Holy.
their baby was born. And so they were very fast to get a Airbnb, and then they had some extra space, so my wife and I joined them there. So it was very surreal being with this like newborn baby I got to hold,
Yeah.
and then watching like my city
burn.
you know,
Yeah.
and just the contrast was crazy, but there was a lot of joy because of the baby. So it was nice.
Their first kid?
Yeah, their first
Whoa.
kid. Both the grandmas were there.
Oh
One
my
of the
God.
grandmas is
Staying
like,
with you too?
yeah, staying
That
with
is
us.
incredible. That's incredible.
One of their moms is like a birthing nurse. So she just knew everything about the baby. So like they felt secure to be away from their doctor and stuff because she was there.
Yeah.
And just getting to hold a newborn baby is like so special.
But it also like it's similar to the pandemic. It's so confusing sorting through the information about what's safe and what's not, and like the air quality and what's and there's also so much just kind of personal choice about like what do you feel comfortable with, like it, and it's so confusing to know what to do. And I feel for people, pregnant people with newborns. It's like
it's an interesting vibe in the city right now because there's a resilience there of like, what do people need? I'm going to do this, show up for people. And there's also a sadness that I've seen in the last 2 weeks of just like people, there's this look in their eyes of kind of like, this just
it's
a
too
forlornness, for lack of a better word.
yes.
And you know, luckily there's a lot of places in LA that are helping and people are dropping stuff off, but it's going to take a long time for a lot of these people to get on their feet. So Tig was mentioning also helping places that are helping the animals. There are a lot of animals that were displaced in this, and a lot of people that have animals who can't care for them right now, or now that they have to find an apartment or hotel room, they can't have their pets, and it affects so many things. It just trickles down in so many
different
ways.
needs.
Yeah.
So many different needs. I was saying before we started recording that, of course, I care about people and animals, but there was something about seeing this animal hospital that had taken in an owl and a turtle and, you know, all of these different. It's not just the family dog and cat. with,
Yeah. It's
burnt paws.
ecosystems.
There's so many different. And when I saw that little turtle in its hospital nook,
In his
Yeah.
gown.
in his little turtle gown, I was like, when I get home, I'm going to the animal hospitals,
Yeah. Now I want to do a painting of a turtle in a hospital gown.
Oh,
You've got to.
I'm still on my animal paintings, and
yeah.
that's got to be one. I haven't done a turtle yet.
Yeah.
We all need
Stephanie
our
reached out.
therapist right now.
What'd you say?
We all need. I feel all the therapists working overtime right now in LA, like just with everybody, and then the therapists are trying to sort it all out. In their
Oh my
mind.
gosh.
Yeah. What were you gonna say? Sorry, Stephanie. Sorry.
Stephanie reached out to me the other day saying, one of our friends who has a newborn baby, they didn't lose their house, but they were evacuated and they can't get back in for at least 3 months. And
Whoa.
so
I didn't even think about that.
yeah.
What, because it's toxic fumes and oh my God.
So, and they have a dog, a cat, a newborn, and so they are moving into our office.
Oh, nice.
But when Stephanie called and was like, "Hey, this is going on," I'm like, "Yeah, we got to get that little baby in there." Of course, I like offered the place to Fortune or whoever needs it, but there's something about like, yeah, we gotta get that little baby in there.
Yeah,
that
get
baby
that baby safe and warm.
We gotta get that baby in there. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like, to check how to spell your coworker's name before writing a note in that birthday card that's getting passed around the office.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. This content is intended for audiences in the U.S. only. Savings vary, terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Missing out on a show that everyone's talking about is not an option for me. I'm constantly signing up for this streaming service or that one, and then a few months later, I realize I've still been paying for the service long after I finished watching the show. Getting Rocket Money was a game changer for me. They'll find your unwanted subscriptions and even help you cancel them, so you never have to worry about them slipping through the cracks.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them.
Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/handsome today. That's rocketmoney.com/handsome. rocketmoney.com/handsome.
Well, we definitely send love to everybody
Yes.
who's been affected in one way or another. Just
also, so many people on our social media, so sweet, being like, as soon as I heard about the fires, I thought about the Handsome Pod. It's like, oh my God.
Because
So
I was
kind.
posting here and there, but you guys don't post as much. And so people will be like, what about Tig and May? It's so sweet.
Yeah.
First of all, I've been very busy working on the most difficult lines of my entire acting career.
Yeah.
But
when
the fires hit, even though I'm not somebody that posts all the time, I felt a little depressed. Like, I don't scroll too much on Instagram, but I did look at things and it was
so depressing.
I just needed to remove myself a bit because there was, and not to block it out and ignore it, because we're donating. We are, we're doing housing a family. We're doing anything and everything we can, but I just couldn't continue to look at the things on social media.
But like in the old days, you'd have to watch you'd watch the news and
at
then
5 o'clock.
Yes, and then you'd turn it off, and and now it is constant and
constant.
Yeah. But so I've been a little more MIA because I had to kind of protect my sanity.
Yeah.
anyway, but I do appreciate people reaching out and
Yeah, thank you. And we'll keep sharing like places to donate and
And huge shout out to, again, firefighters.
yes.
Any of those pilots, any of the first responders, those people that
the incarcerated firefighters.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. And these incarcerated young men who are, getting paid $1 a day and they're risking their lives. We got to support them.
Well, and also just a side note that blows my mind about firefighters, police, even therapists. Meaning their day to day is getting up and walking towards devastation and negativity. And that's what they get up and do of course, there's the charming day when they get a kitty out of the tree and whatever, but like their hard work, like getting up, you turn your alarm off and you go towards the negative.
Yeah.
It's so intense. And it's like, it takes a very particular person that can go do that.
It's crazy. But there's a foundation called the California Fire Foundation, the Wildfire and Disaster Relief Fund. You can Google it, and that's a good place to support a lot of the disaster relief and the actual firefighters and their families. And there's many places to donate. The Pasadena Humane Society, the San Gabriel Valley Humane Society. There's many personal GoFundMes. There's so many things.
Yeah. Also, I think you've said this, Tig, about like world issues and things. Like it again brings home like without fighting climate change, like
none of the other things matter.
Nothing else matters. This is this is so urgent. Yeah.
Yeah, you can have all of these political differences and anything on the planet that's going on in personal lives, in politics, and it's like, yes, it's all important. However, if the planet is not intact, it doesn't matter at all.
And all of those other issues are going to be exacerbated by natural disasters and things. So yeah. I mean, it's like, who are we? I always feel like I don't know what I'm talking about, and how are in 20 minutes, how are we going to like talk about the California fires? But I guess we just have our own experiences, and I don't know. It's nice talking to people and connecting.
And I think people listening can connect, and people that don't live in LA have been watching it just every second of it and feeling it. And
my mom was more scared that I went and had apocalypse sex than she was about the fire.
Oh, you told your mom?
Well, I said I'm going to my ex's house. She went, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
She goes, I know your to-do list in apocalypse, and that's number one, so I know what you're up to.
Yeah. I will say it wasn't like I was, I went there to be safe with someone with a car. I don't have a car, and it was really nice to
have a car.
To have it, well,
I'm coming over for your car.
Yeah, she's like, I feel like you're using me for my car. And you're like, damn straight.
Wow. I'm gonna look at apocalyptic situations very differently now.
Well, there's got to be some silver lining.
You know what I realized in all of this too, when I was in Toronto and Stephanie was like trying to pack things that are important, and maybe this is already a known thing. I was telling Stephanie when I went home, I bet it's good, because what I did was I went around our house and I made a list of what is important to me, and I took a picture of the things and where they're located in our house, and then just to give her in case something happened when I left. But everything seems to be under control. It feels still like, if you haven't done this or haven't thought to do it, seems like it's a good idea to make a list, take those pictures, but also put the things in one place.
Yeah, so and make an emergency bag too.
Well, and if there's an emergency, that you have a closet in your garage or in your basement or in your hallway where you're like, okay, the left side of the closet is go stuff, you know? And if there's ever anything that happens, we know we just open this closet and pack all that stuff and we're out the door. So you're not scrambling around going, oh gosh, what's important? Where's my birth certificate? Where are the photo albums? You know, whatever it is.
We got this little pouch a couple years ago that's supposedly fireproof. I don't know, where I keep all my like important just documents.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're all that stuff is together in one of those pouches.
My crystals.
Okay.
Strap on.
Whoa. That can't be replaced.
I'm just trying to keep it light.
So you know.
No.
Whoa.
I'm joking. There's more.
No, you're not. No, you are not.
Sentimental, that one.
I love it. Fortune's like, whoa.
Are those? Is that it? Just crystals and the old strap on.
No, I'd have some astronaut ice cream. You know, what else?
Now you want to talk about a prepared person? Mae Martin. Mae Martin.
You know what Mae's doing? You know what Mae's doing in the apocalypse? Fucking.
Well,
and then having some ice cream.
You know, we joke and we laugh, but I did think if it was my last day on Earth, then I would want to be having sex. It's like the most human thing. I don't know.
And
it's
having
I'd be
ice
wanting
cream.
to eat a cheeseburger.
Yeah, that too, for sure. Yeah, you just, you know,
I'd probably have some kale.
Some kale.
I'd go out in a bang.
You'd stroke a turtle and have some kale.
Yeah, it takes probably stroking a turtle and having some Last Supper kale.
You're stroking a turtle and Mae's stroking something else.
Follow Mae to the ex-girlfriend's car.
Wow.
And you will also get, did you say outer space ice cream?
Yeah, I was just thinking about, I don't know why I said that, about non-perishable foods. And I thought astronauts have that freeze-dried ice cream. You know,
astronaut ice cream.
So tasty. Yeah.
You think so?
I remember getting it at the Science Center in Toronto, and I liked it. You don't like it?
Not
it's
really.
Kind of a weird,
it tastes
weird
like dried
texture.
ice cream.
Yeah.
Guys, good talk.
Good talk.
Well, should we get to our questioner today?
Yes. And this, can I say this is, I mean, like a foundational comedian for me. Like I'm buzzing that this person sent a question. Today's questioner is a musician, a comedian, an actor, best known for his hilarious parody songs ranging from Amish Paradise to Smells Like Nirvana to Yoda. And he has sold over 12 million albums, winning 5 Grammy Awards along the way. I saw him live in like an arena tour when I was about 12. And it was like seeing a comedian be a rock star. Like people were acting like when he was singing like, you know, a Michael Jackson song or whatever, it was like the actual artist was, people were losing their minds. And I was yeah, he's always been a true hero of pure, inane silliness. Weird Al Yankovic is asking today's question.
Or as I like to call him, Weird Albert.
Do you know him personally?
I do. That's how we got it.
Stop.
I get a Christmas card from him every year.
Stop it.
How knows everybody?
Oh my God. This whole podcast is just me going, oh my God, they know I exist. And you guys being like, yeah, I just texted them today. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah. I don't know if his name's Albert, but I love elongating people's names, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell him I deeply love
he'll
him?
hear this.
Okay, great.
We'll see to it.
Yeah.
Old Weird Albert.
Pod.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Hey, Handsome Pod, how you doing? It's your close personal friend, Al Yankovic. And I have a question to posit to you. You can answer it individually and or collectively, but I really want to know, is there one particular scene in a movie that you had a severe physical reaction to? I'm not talking about a movie that touched you deeply or made you think or changed your life. I'm talking about a movie that, you know, made you made you laugh or cry or throw up or soil your underwear? Something that made you flip out. So what is the one movie scene that made you do that?
What a great question.
Wow.
It's not an easy one.
No.
It's not an easy one. And
No.
I will say, just to like gush about him more, I watched UHF a lot as a kid, the Weird Al movie, which I guess was in the 80s or early 90s, but my brother and I knew every line to that movie.
Let's hear some.
Oh.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And Al is listening. Okay.
I said we knew every line to that movie.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You know, I love to tread water. It's good for my mind and my body. Plus, it's just fun. What makes it even more enjoyable is MitoPure. MitoPure helps me feel stronger in my workouts, recover quicker afterwards, and gives me more energy throughout the day.
MitoPure is the only urolithin A supplement on the market clinically proven to target the effects of age-related cellular decline. So with regular use, you'll see and feel the difference in the form of improved energy levels, better workouts, faster recovery, more endurance, and more, all of which will help you achieve your New Year's goals. Cellular health is the foundation of well-being and longevity, and MitoPure recharges your cells, supporting any goals by helping all of your systems work better.
Timeline is offering 10% off your order of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/handsome. That's TIMELINE.com/handsome.
Who's planning a trip to Provincetown this year? Be you in P-Town. P-Town. Be you in P-Town. It's a beautiful mosaic of cultures where everyone is welcome. I love that Provincetown is so welcoming to everyone and embraces a kaleidoscope of folks. That's why I love Provincetown, Massachusetts. It's queer, it's quirky, you can be yourself, and it's always a fabulous time.
Mr. Thomas here. I went to Provincetown on a vacation. We were actually in Cape Cod. We drove up the Cape. Provincetown is right at the end. It's such a magical place. It's surrounded by these beautiful beaches. I rented a bike and biked around the town. There's beautiful shops. There's places to go eat. It is a destination, whether you're going with friends, a loved one, or just by yourself. Go to P-Town and have the time of your life.
So sashay your way to ptowntourism.com, the official guide to Provincetown. ptowntourism.com. Take it from Mr. Thomas.
And then I cannot recommend highly enough, if you're a Weird Al fan, the biopic that he made with Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not what I was expecting in the best way. It was so funny that they play it completely earnestly, like that this is a biopic of the greatest artist of our time. And it was incredible. And Dan Radcliffe was amazing. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to watch that.
It's so funny. Conan O'Brien's in it. It's just ridiculous. Yeah.
I feel like Al is one of those people, it's like across the board. So he has so much respect from so many people. And it's so cool to see with such a silly person.
I know.
The silliness is so overboard.
It doesn't age because it's just pure silliness. I feel the same way sometimes about Adam Sandler, like his new stuff he's doing. I'm like, I know I'm gonna love it because it's just silly, and Conan, and like it's relaxing because you're.
But there's also like a Mr. Rogers vibe about it, the love that people have, where people are like, I love Weird Al.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, you see grown men and you see children and people are like, I love him.
Yes.
And he's just the nicest guy.
Is he?
You know? Oh, yeah.
Well, when I went to see him at that arena show, I always remember he came out into the audience and he's like sprinting up the aisle in this big arena. And this like 10-year-old boy is there and just stands up and steps in front of Al, like into the aisle. So Al's like running up and just stops. And this boy just stands there and they just have eye contact and have a like staring contact. Like he just stares at him and they just both stand there staring for so long. And it was so funny. And then the kid just goes and sits down and he keeps, that was great. Yeah.
Classic Al.
Oh man. Okay. Visceral reaction. Shit. Because in the old days, when people hadn't seen movies much, you know, and then you hear about people seeing The Exorcist and like
Or like
passing
Jaws.
out. And, yes, and like
Oh God, Jaws.
People
did
wouldn't go
that-
in the ocean for like a while.
Yeah, I mean Jaws. Like,
was that visceral for you? Or were you like,
I mean, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, was it not for you?
yeah,
It scared
was.
me, but not in a way where I was like, I'm never going to the ocean again.
Well, how old were you when you saw it?
Let me see when it came out. I don't remember.
You saw it when it came, because I don't think you were alive when it came out.
Maybe not. Oh yeah, 1975. I was not born yet.
Yeah.
Jaws 2 was 78.
So you saw it when it came out, Tig, and were you like, this is the most unsettling primal?
Yeah. You know, maybe if it came out now, that original version came out now, I'd be like, oh, this is, you know, you kind of can see behind the curtain a bit with,
No, but the score
yeah.
and it is primal, something like a threat that you can't really see in the depths of the unknown, and you're so vulnerable. You're like, yes.
And it gets faster and louder.
I
That's
wish the
pretty-
score was Fortune's version. Can we dub over?
And then
Dana, Dana.
and we cut to her
Yeah.
every time the music kicks in. We cut to Fortune
I'm doing this.
making that face.
Dana.
But yeah, it was hard for me to even swim in a pool. I thought for sure when I had my back turned, somebody threw a great white shark in there.
Yeah.
That's
Never
the
did.
Worst
Nobody-
when that happens.
Yeah.
And wasn't the sequel called Just When You Thought It Was Safe to Get in the Water? That was the tagline. Yeah.
I have a great title. It's
Yeah.
Just When You Thought It Was Safe to Get Back in the Water, but it's not because the sharks are still there.
Yeah.
Part 2.
I had movies that made me want to do things
Like what?
A League of Their Own.
Mm.
Made me want to be on a woman's baseball team
Yeah.
and in a house with a bunch of ladies.
Right.
Pretty Woman made me want to be a high-end escort in Beverly Hills.
Mm.
Really?
Did it?
Big mistake. Huhuge.
But wait, did it make you want to?
No.
Oh, come on. I don't know.
I don't know. Because the League of Their Own one,
and the jewelry scene, that was iconic. Where she goes to reach for the necklace and he shuts the thing and she's like,
I think
Guys,
we've done
I
that
have-
on the pod.
I
we've
have
each-
really bad news.
what?
what?
I've never seen Pretty Woman.
Oh my God.
I have bad news too.
You haven't either?
I don't think I have either.
2 against 1. 2 against 1.
Well,
You
one
guys, come on.
a lot of these though are like things that you see as a kid that really
Uh-huh.
mess you up. And I was taken to see Jurassic Park in cinemas when I was
Oh.
like, I think I was 4 or something. I was way too little. And just at the
Yes.
moment where the footprints, like the footsteps come and the water's shaking, and I ran out of the movie theater, and I remember standing by myself in the movie, and that my dad took quite a while to come out after me. Like, but I think I was 4. What year did it come out?
That came out in like 1993, I would guess.
That
Yeah,
was
I
scary because
6.
it was
Was that
silent.
93?
Was it? Let's see, Jurassic Park. Yeah,
Wow.
93.
Oh.
It was like
Picture.
silent and then it's like,
Boom, boom. Yeah.
Well, that made a massive impact on me too, and I talked about it in my my animated special. But I worked with children like at a daycare center at one point years ago, and this woman that I worked with that was maybe a little annoying, and I didn't pay close attention to things when she talked to me.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you think I'm out of like
the pop culture loop.
yeah, the pop culture loop, you should have seen me when I was 22. Okay.
Really?
So I'm sweeping up the room, and the woman that I work with is talking nonstop about these dinosaurs that, you know, scientists have brought back from extinction. And now they're loose, running around, killing people. I missed that it was a movie. And I was like, wait, what? And she was like, yeah, you haven't heard about this? And I was like, no. And she was like, oh, it's called Jurassic Park. And I was like, and so there are actual dinosaurs. And she was like, yeah.
This
And I was
scientist
like,
found this amber.
yeah. And what she explained, it made sense. And I was like, what the hell are we doing just at this daycare center? We got to get the hell out of here. But I went and saw it after that because I was so fascinated by the story she told me.
Yeah.
And it terrified me, absolutely terrified me.
It's like a flawless movie too. This isn't a movie, but in Twin Peaks, and the great David Lynch just passed away. And there's a couple of David Lynch moments that will stay with me. But Twin Peaks, when you see Bob in the flash, have you seen it?
I haven't.
2 Against 1. That's one of the most affecting and scary and amazing shows. But the mom of the murdered girl is remembering going into the girl's room, and she's hugging someone, and we kind of go into her mind, and she's remembering going into her daughter's room when her daughter was missing. And suddenly in her memory, she sees this man crouched at the end of the bed with long hair, and it's Bob, and he starts sort of crawling, and she just starts screaming. And I still can't, like, my whole body even now is like goosebumpy. Like, I hate Bob, and Bob is so scary. And he was just a guy who worked on set. I think he was a janitor, and David Lynch saw him, and he had this long greasy hair, and cast him as the main villain, who doesn't really speak much, but he appears. And oh my God, that is visceral. Like, if I'm home alone, and also at the very end of, like, the final scene of that show, no spoilers, but it's someone who you love.
No spoilers decades later.
Yeah. But Agent Cooper, he's like looking in the mirror, and then he starts going, "Where's Annie? Where's Annie?" And you go, "Oh my God, he's bad too. Bob got him too." Anyway, whatever. Things like that.
Do you think Bob's still alive?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
He's alive in me, and
what if he's a listener?
Oh my God, I don't want to invoke Bob. I don't want to, but The Shining as well. That is the idea of someone that you love trying to kill you and changing like that. That really was so scary. Those hallways, those corridors. Yeah.
No.
I didn't see The Shining either.
It's amazing, but that's one of the.
Did you see it, Fortune?
I did, yeah. It's good.
Did it spook you?
I watched it much later in life. If I had watched it younger, I would think it would have.
It didn't spook you as an adult?
No. Those older scary movies in these days, watching them don't really trip me
I
up
watched
much.
some Albert Hitchcock movie. What is it? The Window or something?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Rear Window, yeah.
Rear Window? Nah.
Didn't do it for you.
I wasn't scared.
Well, sometimes when you watch things that other things have been so derivative of that original thing, but then you watch the original thing and subsequent things have done it scarier now. So you're like,
yeah.
When we're just in different times, we've been exposed to so much. But back then, that stuff was so transformative. I remember watching the movie Riding in Cars with Boys in college, and that one got me good.
I'm putting it on my list. I've never seen it.
Because I was having some. I've talked about it before. My mom and I used to have a difficult relationship, and as I got older and moved away, it got a lot better. Now we're very close, but in college it was pretty fractured, and that movie got me good.
Why? What's it about? Is it about a mother-daughter?
About a mother with just kind of finding herself.
Yeah.
And sometimes, that took priority.
So that hit you in the guts.
Hit me. I also get really, anytime I watch a movie where a mother or a grandmother or any older woman dies of cancer, that it kills me. And I think that goes back to my grandmother. So I will sob like a baby. And it doesn't matter what movie it is. If it's a woman of a certain age dying of cancer,
I cry when men break down in movies, like Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar when he cries, or like Tom Cruise anytime he cries. It gets me.
In terms of endearment, when Deborah Winger is crying on her deathbed
Oh my
and
God.
saying to her son, who is this like probably 12-year-old kid, and he's like, yeah, no, I know, I don't care, you know, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just crying, and she's like, listen to me, I know you love me, and when I die, don't beat yourself up, I know you love me, you know.
Oh my God. I'm
and
gonna
he's
cry
just
now.
like,
Oh, but you can tell he cares.
he cares, and he
Yeah.
can't express it because
Yeah.
he's got such a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And her performance, I mean, it gives me goosebumps. She's
Yeah.
so great.
Can you
Watch that
remember
movie.
the first movie that like gave you a boner? Like that's a visceral.
Classic May.
Well, that's a
Yes, it was an
visceral.
apocalyptic movie. What?
That's a visceral physical reaction. And for me, it was Rocky Horror Picture Show. I was 5 when my parents
Really?
showed it to me. I was 5, and I've talked about this before, but
Yeah.
it was the moment that Frankenfurter throws that cape off, and he's in that corset and fishnets and starts striding down the hall, and his hips moving and these high heels, and I've never been the same. I've never been the same. And then there's one particular moment where Rocky, the creature he's created, he's singing something, and then Frankenfurter like runs his finger down Rocky's stomach, like, and Rocky has 2 belly buttons, and runs it down to like the edge of his underwear. And I was like, well, I'll think about that tonight. I don't know why, but I'll store that moment. And it was a
I'll
visceral.
think about that tonight and forever.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. Good night.
Yeah. I followed the actor that
Good
played
night, Bette Midler.
Rocky. Oh yeah, Bet. I mean, yeah. The actor that played Rocky in Rocky Horror, I follow him on Instagram, Peter Hinwood, and I love that he's still so passionate about Rocky Horror Picture Show. He posts pictures all the time of Tim Curry and like
Wow.
throwbacks, and he just seems like a cool.
God, what if I was like that about Instant Family?
What's Instant?
It's a movie I did with Mark
Wahlberg?
Wahlberg and Rose Byrne and Octavia Spencer, and I'm just constantly posting about it. I'm like, here I am with Rose at the craft table.
Okay, I need to watch Instant Family because that
That's
is
funny.
a foursome
It's a
I
very
didn't know I needed.
heartwarming movie.
Mark Wahlberg, Rose Byrne, you, and Octavia Spencer.
Yeah.
What a quad.
Yeah.
And you did another rom-com with
Reese and Ashton.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it feels more random to do Instant Family because it's not like a classic rom-com, you know, it's like the adoption family story.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some other thing that was I was going to say, I mean, John Travolta, you know, he ignited my fire as a kid.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Star Wars, when he uses his lightsaber to cut open the belly of the Tauntaun.
Yes. And it was like shrimp.
Yes.
Falling out.
What production designer made that choice that the insides look like big maggots? Oh my Christ.
I thought it looked like raw shrimp, like
yes,
jumbo shrimp.
Yes, it did.
Just pouring out. Thomas, will you look up what came out of the Tauntaun?
Yeah, and how they did it? Because maybe it was shrimp.
And how they did it.
Yes, and
please, could you look up how the special effects did that scene?
Because
we have time, right?
That's Han Solo that crawls in there. I want to know how Harrison felt about crawling into that raw shrimp.
I don't know any Star Wars trivia.
I was a Star Wars nut.
Not this gal.
Should the 3 of us go to Disney together?
Probably.
Yeah, why not?
Do you like rides?
No.
Me? Yeah. How are you guys on rides?
I like a ride like Space Mountain I'm good with, or like a little roller coaster that is kind of fast and whoop, here comes a hill. Yeah. But not like will we be alive at the end?
Not like will our vertebrae
even from
be
a
dust?
Heart.
Yes.
Like a heart attack.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same.
Yeah.
I'm not a roller coaster person at all, but for Chris Colfer's birthday, he did the thing where you can go to Six Flags and ride all the roller coasters you want all day. And I just wanted to be a good friend, but I hate roller coasters. But for like a whole afternoon, I'm like literally passing out.
Green.
Oh my God. I know what we can do. And Thomas put this on the list. We can go to Disneyland and just get like little, Disney hats and eat cotton candy and just walk around.
Oh, just
That
hang
would
out
be
and
fun.
soak
Yeah,
up the
just
vibe.
carry
See
a
the
balloon
parade.
and
I kind of do want to
want
go with
some
you guys
Dole
just
Whip
for the
and a
photos
corn
of.
dog.
Yeah, I want the photos of us with Mickey and like.
yeah, and Minnie with her feet shoved into those high heels. Thomas, do you have an answer about what was in the Tauntaun?
There is no definitive answer online. People speculate that it could be kind of long balloons that are filled with goo or pig intestines.
Ooh, whoa.
No raw jumbo shrimp? Okay.
No one's saying
I'm
jumbo
not saying
shrimp.
that.
Wow.
Wow.
Right.
We stumbled upon the
Movie
mystery.
magic. What a podcast.
What a podcast.
We really learned a lot about each other.
Mm-hmm.
Through movies.
There is is his name Emo Philip?
Yeah.
There is in UHF in Weird Al's UHF. There's a section where Emo Phillips keeps getting fingers and limbs cut off, and the blood is just in that way that comedy blood spurts
of course.
that we don't see anymore.
Yeah.
Just the comedy blood spurting from all of us, and he's trying to, I think, still present a TV show while he's spurting everywhere. That was
you could paint comedy blood splurts.
That's true.
Yeah.
yeah.
You should make a painting of all the things that we don't see anymore. And one of the things that I bring up often is mooning. Nobody moons
I
anymore.
was just talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Mooning quicksand.
Because I'm writing a new act in one of my stories that's not, I don't talk about it, but my friend mooned someone in the car ride home. And my other friend said, yeah, people don't really moon anymore.
Yeah. I feel
people
like
don't moon.
I feel like we've talked about it, and then on social media, people were like, "Well, because that's sexual assault," and I was like, "Oh, come on, we're talking about mooning."
Back in the 80s, it was just a good time.
Yeah, in the 70s, it was a grand old time. But but yes, we've lived and we've learned, but we still could use a painting of. I always picture mooning out of a school bus window because that was the first time I saw it.
Yeah,
in the 70s. People would just like the bus would peel out of the school parking lot and you'd see moons.
Moons.
Yeah.
I love it.
I am firmly against sexual assault and harassment.
For sure.
Me too.
I do love a moon.
A comedy moon. Like I think I've said, when I was super down this summer and going through, tough times, and my friend was like being so earnestly helpful, and then she went to the bathroom and she came back completely naked.
Oh yeah.
It was the best.
That was a good friend
joke. It made me laugh so hard. It was so unexpected. Just she sprinted around the kitchen.
I was just realizing I love a moon, but it's not as fun when you see an ass crack.
Oh, that's such a crucial part of the moon.
No, I know, but I'm saying like if somebody's pants are hanging down low.
Oh, I see what you mean. By accident. Oh, no, that's not as fun. Yeah.
And look, I've been guilty of that before in my life as well. But I'm just saying a full moon is what I'm looking for out of a school bus window.
Sorted.
Back in the 90s with low-rise jeans, low-rise skinny jeans, there were a lot of butt cracks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
should we hear
thongs peeking out.
Oh yeah, we haven't heard
Al's answer.
Oh my gosh, that's right. What is Al's answer?
Okay, I'll tell you mine. I have to say it's the 1976 movie Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma. I was a teenager going to the movie theater with my friends, and the end of the movie, that the scene in the graveyard, that's been duplicated and parodied so many times. In fact, I did a parody of it in my biopic. But the first time I saw it, it kind of freaked me out. In fact, I remember the scene, of course, is one Carrie's friend is placing a flower on Carrie's grave, and Carrie's hand reaches up out of the grave and grabs her friend. And I remember at the time, I I literally jumped out of my seat. I was out of my chair and yelling at the screen, which is something that I've never done since. That apparently as a 16-year-old Alfred Yankovic, that really freaked me out. So thank you for listening and keep in touch.
I will, Al.
Of course, it's Alfred Yankovic.
Yeah.
Look at me calling him Albert. I don't deserve his Christmas cards.
Hilarious.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those scary movies leave a mark.
Jumping
Yes.
out of your seat is what a compliment to the filmmakers that like, boing, like to be so electrified
Yeah.
that you're just.
I forgot to mention Thomas is also a massive Al fan.
Are you, Thomas?
Oh yeah, I had all the tapes.
Me
and,
too.
Yeah, just grew up thinking that was his American Pie parody. I had that memorized.
Me too. And also, yeah, just that era. I guess we were similar ages when Star Wars Episode 1 came out and that song came, and it was like anyone singing those songs at school kind of got the cred of as if they'd written those Weird Al songs. Like you were the funny
Yes,
cool
Matthew
kid.
Burdick knew all the songs, and it
Yeah.
made him so cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, what a treat. It was so great to reconnect with you all after and during the fires, and to have a great question from Al. Weird
Yes.
Al.
Yeah. Always uplifting to talk to you guys, and a pleasure.
Yeah. And does anybody have anything coming up?
I'm working on my new hour. So if anyone lives in Ontario, California, or Oxnard, California, Irvine, California, or Huntsville, Alabama, I'm doing a bunch of club dates, very intimate shows. So there'll be new material, crowd work, all that good stuff. And then my tour starts after that in Savannah, Georgia, and Charleston, South Carolina, and a lot more other dates on my website.
Well, I'll say right now that we have the Handsome Pod live in Nashville on April 6th.
Yes.
And then we will be also Handsome Pod live in Austin, Texas on April 12th.
And those are both like 90% sold. So
yeah, so you better get on it. Get on.
And these are big theaters too. This is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
The Austin
yeah.
one's like 2,800 seater.
I'm also going to be in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, June 14th.
It feels so weird that it's finally happening, but my music album is coming out. I think when this airs, the single will be out, maybe even two singles. So it's always helpful if you stream those on Spotify if you like them. And then I'm doing 4 big music tour shows, which is so bizarre for me because I'm not a musician and I'm really nervous, and they're big venues. So please come.
Nice.
February 26th in LA, and I'm going to play the whole album with a band, and I'm going to play a couple covers as well. So March 1st in Toronto at Danforth Music Hall, March 4th in New York, and then March 9th in London. I haven't been back to England in so long, so please come out to those shows. There's maybe a special guest or two, and you'll see me like muddling through playing live for the first time.
And will you be getting a haircut from Debbie?
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. You didn't even occur to me, but yes, I simply must.
You simply must.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get her to come to the show too.
Get a little video. We could post a video of you getting a haircut from Debbie.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell her hello.
Yeah.
And I guess until next time,
keep it
handsome.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like you know to check and make sure you have that perfect nostalgic music mix ready to go before embarking on that big road trip back to your old hometown.
Yeah, checking first is smart, so check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. This content is intended for audiences in the U.S. only. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.